All right, I'd like to now invite Councillor Linda Scott, Councillor Karen McEwen and Councillor Ruth Fagan to the stage to launch a very special campaign for recycling.
Thank you very much, Ellen. And on behalf of delegates here today, I would like to thank Craig for that not only entertaining and inspiring presentation, but a demonstration to us of the extraordinary valuable work the War on Waste program has done to inspire action at an individual level. The series reached a total of over 2.4 million viewers, and there were more than 500,000 plays on iView. Meanwhile, on social media, the campaign reached an even broader demographic, with an extraordinary 15 million views. An evaluation into the impact of the program is continuing, but I'd like to share a few facts with you that illustrate just how powerful this movement has become. As you'd all be aware, our two largest supermarket chains, Coles and Woolworths, have stopped providing the single-use plastic bag. Woolworths alone formerly provided more than 3.2 billion single-use plastic bags across the nation each year, and this is no paltry result. McDonald's and Starbucks are ditching plastic straws, while organisations that rescue wasted food received an immediate funding boost of $1.2 million. This was all following the series. Melbourne-based reusable cup manufacturer Keep Cups said it had seen a 690% increase in sales inquiries, a 403% increase online sales, and a 205% increase in web traffic. Meanwhile, an American Express study of Australian shoppers has found 73% were actively seeking out businesses that offered sustainable products or services. There can no longer be any doubt that there has been a huge rise in consumers putting their foot down and voting for the planet, and usually that's with their wallets. It's a classic example of people power at its best. And the level of government closest to the community, the time is ripe for local government to step into the void, to take this commitment to the next level. I'd now like to hand over to President Linda Scott, who will tell us just how we as a sector can ramp up our own efforts to build on the individual and community-based achievements already being delivered.
Thanks, Karen, and thanks, Craig. And my particular personal thanks, Craig, can I tell you that my children, 8 and 6, really just hugely influenced by your program, so much so that at their school they had a whole day where they searched through every single rubbish bin on the school grounds, came home talking all about the waste and, of course, covered in waste, so that was also fantastic. But they did a huge audit, like you did, all over the school playground. Really fantastic thing to see. And they now are like the mini recycling police. So one in my house just cannot do anything wrong. They're highly educated consumers, and they constantly correct me if I am putting something in the wrong bin. So good on you, Craig. Thank you for doing that. And thanks to Karen. As you rightly pointed out, of course, the local government sector is already playing such a significant role in helping to reduce waste and move to the ultimate objective of having a circular economy. I know you're all working incredibly hard to develop markets for recycled glass, paper and plastics. The statistics I do love to quote at people is that as the New South Wales councils, we of course collect and therefore at some point have in our hands the huge majority of the state's waste, and we own 90% of the state's roads. So if you're looking at a technology to try and turn some of that waste into a roads base, We're the perfect partners to invest with. And of course, our colleagues from Sutherland Shire can take a bow, having built the first New South Wales road from soft plastics and glass in Engadine. The 220 tonnes of asphalt, which make up the old Princess Highway between Cooper Street and Engadine Road, is created from around 176,000 plastic bags, 55,000 glass bottles, toner from 4,000 used printer cartridges, and more than 60 tonnes of recycled asphalt. So I think we should give them a round of applause. That is really, really fantastic. We just have to find a way to get those mattresses in the road base and we'll be set. There's a significant amount of waste diverted from landfill and a significant benchmark for sustainability. But that is, of course, just one success story. And if I were to list today the entirety of actions taken by you all, then we'd have to extend the conference for another day. So let's get to the point. The launch today of this major sector-wide campaign to help New South Wales move towards a profitable and sustainable circular economy. And so we're incredibly proud today to present to you our Save Our Recycling campaign, the result of extensive consultation with you, our council members, and of market research and of long-standing policy positions developed at conferences yesterday, but also in the past. We all agree New South Wales must develop its onshore processing capacity for recycled materials rather than shipping waste to countries such as China. Offshore processing was never a good long-term option, and China's tighter restrictions on what type of waste we can ship to them have of course brought this into stark relief. So it is even more urgent now to have a meaningful statewide approach to the collection, processing and reuse of recyclable material. We need more recycling facilities in our state and businesses developing and producing packaging and products that are easier to recycle and reuse. China's national sword policy means this statewide approach can no longer be delayed. I'm sure you've all heard the truism that the Chinese character for crisis is the same as the Chinese character for opportunity, and there can be no doubt that our current waste and recycling crisis offers every level of government the opportunity to make progress towards a circular economy by reusing more of our waste. And that, delegates, is the starting point for the Save Our Recycling campaign. The beauty of this campaign is that we believe its objective can be achieved, importantly, without imposing new costs on residents, ratepayers, councils or businesses. In fact, you know it can be achieved without any additional cost at all because the money is already there. And I am, of course, speaking about the $727 million collected from local governments and industry through the waste levy. $727 million in the last financial year, in 1 year alone, a significant amount of money. And it's up to 10 times more than the amount the New South Wales Government has allocated to improve waste management and recycling in 2018-19. Those figures cover the totality of the levy and the sum of the levy contributions by industry, businesses and communities. At a local government level in New South Wales, we paid $300 million in waste levy every year, and yet just 18% of that contribution was returned and reinvested by the state in recycling and waste management, and the rest disappears into the government's coffers and consolidated revenue, and we don't know where it's being used because the budget papers don't tell us. But we do know that it's not used in support of the purpose for which it's collected, and that's what our campaign calls for. We're not asking for more money, we're asking for the money already collected to be reinvested for the purpose for which it was collected. And so, of course, we are asking every single party contesting the upcoming New South Wales state election to commit to 100% reinvestment of that levy into waste and recycling. We're asking future governments to get out there and help us build a New South Wales that manages its own waste in a sensible and sustainable way, and we have widespread support for this task. We know that market research has shown 72% of the population supports the full reinvestment of the waste levy. The research tells us that the people of New South Wales are personally committed to recycling. They're unhappy that the process is not being managed in a way that they would expect. We know that they don't mind paying the waste levy, but they do mind that it's not being spent on waste management. And we know our Macquarie Street colleagues, the government, the opposition and the crossbenchers care about the New South Wales economy, about jobs, particularly in regional areas, about environmental sustainability and, most importantly, about the future of New South Wales. And so now really is the right time to look at a fresh approach to waste management in our state. It's time to unlock the potential of job creation in a modern, smart, homegrown environmental and recycling industry. I've had the great pleasure of visiting universities and looking at the technologies they've worked on to turn fly ash into road base, to turn glass into tiles and other products that can be used in the building industry. There's some great ideas in our state that we want to embed in a new recycling industry in New South Wales. So it's the best time for local government to advocate for meaningful progress towards a circular economy. I encourage you and your councils to support this campaign going forward, and please join with me in welcoming also Councillor Ruth Fagan from Cowra, who's going to give you a sneak preview of the campaign.
Thanks, Linda. And it is only a preview, because this is a campaign we expect to grow and develop right through to the New South Wales election in March next year. It's a campaign we can all get behind because it asks the same of all the candidates, and it offers benefits to our communities right across New South Wales, metropolitan, regional and rural. It's more than an environmental campaign, it's a practical campaign which offers the potential for economic growth and the development of new infrastructure, new technology and new jobs, particularly in our regional areas. What you're seeing on the screen is the dedicated Save Our Recycling website, and just a taste of the range of resources councils can access to help drive the campaign at a local level. Resources such as this short explainer video featuring Local Government New South Wales' own Susie Senadidis, who, as our Environmental Policy Manager, has worked tirelessly with the government and the EPA to progress New South Wales' response to China's national sword policy.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. This is my cat. This is my dad. This is my recycling bin. We recycle bottles, paper and green waste to do our bit for the environment. I've always wondered where our bottles and recycling go. The truth is, not very far. This is my friend Susie. She is a waste expert with Local Government New South Wales.
So Phoebe, we're actually really good at recycling in New South Wales. We used to send a lot of our recycling to China for processing, but that's not really a long-term solution. So what we need is a plan for how we can reuse recyclable materials here in New South Wales. And the good news is we've already started finding ways of doing that.
Glass and bottles can be converted into asphalt. Plastics can be converted into playground equipment. Soon, we could be riding our bikes on a road made of bottles to a park made out of reused plastic. Cool, huh? We could be reusing heaps more of our stuff if we had a recycling plan for New South Wales. And the good news is, the government is already collecting the money to fund it through this thing called the waste levy. So all we need to do is recycle that money and make sure we can reuse in New South Wales. Join me in the campaign to save our recycling.
Congratulations to Susie and the team at Local Government New South Wales. It's amazing, and as you can see, I'm sure it'll appeal to every age group. A further briefing for communications staff at your councils has been scheduled for early next month, and to seek officer-level feedback on how local government New South Wales can further support your local campaign efforts to make this happen. The campaign offers us the opportunity to not only highlight the important and groundbreaking work you as councils are undertaking to manage waste, but to offer real solutions to the recycling crisis. You can take a closer look at the website by going to saveourrecycling.com.au, or to make it even easier, via the conference app you all have downloaded on your phones. As a sector, we have a voice and we have a responsibility to use it. Our ongoing campaign to obtain better funding for our public libraries has already achieved some preliminary results, and the winners have been the communities that we serve. We owe it to those communities to keep advocating for progress that will benefit our ratepayers, our children, and like young Phoebe in the video, and our children's children. So today, ladies and gentlemen, fellow councillors and general managers, I urge you to join the Save Our Recycling campaign. I urge you to work together as a unified sector to achieve a sensible, statewide approach to waste. We can leave no better legacy, and I thank you for your attention.